On the Star Warrior Chronicles, the Prophesied King. Our heroes continue their path to the Starblade, where they need to climb a mountain in order to do so. While they were climbing, they somehow found Sora, who's been following them, trying to tell them a message. The message is that Terry's on their path for some deal he's made. And with no option to turn, she decided to join the group, as they reluctantly did. They team climbed the mountains and went to a town where they managed to find another Team Madden grunt named Adriana, with the probability being more than a match for our heroes. Though she proved to be tough, so they managed to win a day as Sora was able to beat her through Cody's advice and her own determination. Now the heroes of 4 can now continue their path to the Starblade, as there's been mention of another warrior after them. Who could exactly this warrior be, and how will they get to the Starblade in one piece? Episode 6, Enter the Dragonel. We are now taken to a mountainside over a foggy forest. There we see a human-sized red dragon performing some form of fighting. They use some lightning that covered its claws as they punched and kicked the air while flying a few feet above it. However, they soon took a break as a voice appears in the distance. H.R. Dragonel, I finally found you. They looked around to see that no one else was there. I would prefer that you face me if you wish to speak. I would if it wasn't threatened by your power. Then why bother? Well, my prince, it seems that you aren't the only heir of royalty that walks today. He then put down his lighting as he flew onto the ground. As he stood on 2 feet, he became more intrigued with his fact. Elaborate. You know the Prince of the Stars, right? The one your father died for? Dragonel then clenched his claws in fury. You should not speak his name. Apologies, but the boy called Michael Stargus is seen near the Grand Canyon at this very moment. He is right now being hunted by many. I sent some of mine to deal with him. Unfortunately, all of them lost in one form or another. What's this got to do with me? Here's the thing. There are many who want his head, but I know you would like to be the one to do it. After all, your father's death was behind him. Dragonel smirked as he heard this statement. You think I want him dead for revenge? Why wouldn't you? You clearly are still hurt about it. So what if I am? How is getting revenge gonna make me feel better? Fine. If you don't care about it, then so be it. I'm sure someone is killing him right now. Dragonel faced him, turned distraught. Just what are you talking about? Did you not hear me earlier? There's a bounty on him. If you want to do something, then I suggest you do it now. With one more thought, Dragonel flew away in a hurry as he left the mysterious man alone. Finally got through to him. Let's see how that boy does against another royal blood. Our heroes finally finished climbing down the mountain, which indeed led to a forest. The forest at a glance didn't seem too dense, but you can never know what will come out. It was also pretty early on because it took them a long time to climb down. Finally, solid ground, no longer way above the clouds. Fine pleased, I see. It's not much longer, just past this forest and we're there.
Hopefully we won't see any more puppets along the way.
She nervously laughed as the others did themselves except for Mikey. He looked onto the forest with a determined look, which left the others unsettled.
What's going on?
Mikey just turned back and he gave an uncertain look. I think it's now starting to sink in on what's happening. We're almost getting the sword, and not too long after, I'm gonna fight a wizard guy. I just feel... Don't you think we're doing this too fast? The others looked at him with a weird look. Well, I guess I'm good at my job if you're feeling that. Cody laughed for a bit to lighten the mood. Look at it this way. The sword is only the first step. I know there's more to this, and it's probably going to be a while before you fight him. And I continue to think about it as they continue into the forest. Besides, we ain't had the sword yet. I'm sure you figure out something before then. I know, but I still feel like something's missing, you know? Like, I started to think that before we said our word, they felt a fast breeze come from behind them. They looked around to see who caused it, and it became clear who it was. They see a red dragon fly down to their level with a serious look. Standing on 2 legs, he looked at them furiously. All 4 of them cautiously looked back, and they all instinctively prepared to fight. He looked through all of them so he can take a notice at Cody. He walked closer unflinchingly. Cody began to nervously sweat as their eyes met. Are you Michael Sarticus? Cody shook his head quickly. He then walked over to Thor as prepared to ask the same question. David urged Mikey not to say another word as this was happening. And how about you?
I'm clearly a girl.
Right. He then walked over to David before he asked it. Mikey's mouth spoke. If you are not a team member, then please leave us alone. Dragonel looked over him with a serious look. So, are you Michael Sarticus? And the Prince under the Stars. After 1 second as everyone nervously looked at Mikey, Dragonel's expression lightened a bit before he became happy. Finally found you. I was worried there for a second. I thought you actually kicked the bucket to a bounty hunter. Which each of them surprised, Dragonel grew closer to him with a welcoming expression. Let me properly introduce myself, for I believe we haven't met. My name is H.R. Dragonel IV. I am the Prince of the Cursed. Prince of what now? David's face then gleamed as the others were left confused. He pulled Dragonel over to get his attention. Wait, are you serious? Of course. I even have the birthmark to prove it. He then pointed to his right elbow to reveal a lightning-shaped mark on it.
What's going on?
How about a little catching up, yes? I got some questions, too. They yet again set up a break area in the middle of the forest where Dragonel explained to them what's going on. Alright, just who are you and what's the whole cursed thing? My name has already been spoken. Let's start from the top, shall we? I am a prince of the beings whose family of generations have been cursed. One way or another, their first generation has been cursed to be something they don't want to be. For example, as you can no doubt tell, my first member was a dragon.
And what exactly do you guys do?
Not really that much different than people with abilities, though we do get additional things that differentiate us from other people. As a dragon, I can fly and scratch and do all the other stuff like that. And as I mentioned previously, I am the leader of it. And also, as an orphan leader like your friend here, we can probably get down to business. And by business, you mean... Correct. You and I are gonna help reform the Star Council.
There's so much I still don't know.
Maybe so, but look at David. You see David with an excited look as he sees Dragonel and Mikey look at each other. Hold on. How old are you? Not much older than you. Why? Do you really think we should be setting up something like that? I don't even know what a Star Council is. Of course. I bet they taught you nothing over that whatever orphanage my dad took you. Dad? As a last-ditch effort to stop Darky, your dad had mine take you away from the castle that night. Unfortunately, my dad was found by Dark Warrior spies and was slain before he had a chance to fight back. I'm still trying to get over it, but you don't have to worry about it too much. It's not like I blame you or anything like that. He laughed as Mikey awkwardly did so. I wasn't thinking that until you said something. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. Since you know nothing about the Star Council, then I'll be your guide to it. You know how to do that? Nope. That doesn't mean I'll try. But before we go on, who are you guys? Oh, they are my friends, or at least the people who want to help me out. They wasted no time to rush over and shake Dragonel's head. Pleasure to meet you, Your Highness. I'm David Emblem, son of Captain Drew Emblem. David didn't realize he was shaking his hand and he let go as he bowed. Dragonel looked at him weirdly for a moment until he bowed where he looked down at him confidently. Of course, while I don't know that name, I can't deny a Star Warrior such as yourself. The others, however, wondered why he even bothered with a whole introduction. Anywho, my name is Cody Bird. Dragonel investigated him, and he pointed towards him with a humorous look as he looked at Mikey. I see you brought one of your servants with you, though did you have to pick the shortest one? Cody didn't look at him disgusted at this comment. I have you know that I'm still growing. Secondly, just who are you calling a servant? Dragonel ignored him as he walked over towards Thor with another investigating look. Sora had to speak, but Dragonel stopped her. Stop right there. Let me guess real quick. She instantly did, and he investigated further. He then stopped his claws and an idea popped in his head. Got it. You're the royal princess of a different kingdom that will one day marry him to bring him proper heir to the throne. Sora blushed as she said that, and she looked at him angrily.
That's not who I am at all!
Alright, then you're a peasant girl, then. Gotta say, Michael, weird taste, but I can dig it. Sora then restrained herself before slapping him. Mikey then shook his head after he let Dragonel say another word. No, they're just some of my new friends. Not as servants or love interest? Anyway, welcome to the group. Dragonel looked at him confused after he said that, and looked back at him even more confused. New friends? He then went over closer so they can speak privately. Michael, I get that you might not understand the situation, but you gotta have more class than that. You are a prince, for God's sake. Show them you are. But that's the thing. I don't know how. I just started this journey a week ago, and I'm now trying to figure out what exactly this prince sort of thing is. I don't think you know how little we all understand right now. Dragonel backed away off for a moment, and he nodded his head after hearing them out. I don't think I know it. If that's the case, then let me tell you what it means to be a prince. Your Majesty? He looked over at David as Sora and Cody got over the comments. I don't mean to intrude, but we should probably keep pace in the Grand Canyon. In case you forgot, which is totally understandable, we are being hunted. Grand Canyon? Why are you guys going there? That's where the Star Blade is, you ding-dong. Dragonel then turned to Cody furiously as sparks spun around him. Who said you could talk to me that way? Cody backed off as Dragonel got his face in the blink of an eye. He calmed down and approached you once more. Very well, then we best be going then. I'll just have to instruct along the way. Shouldn't be too hard, no? He didn't walk behind him as the others soon came. Sora then forced Cody along as Cody was shaking with fear. Hey, Sora, I found my new fear.
Let's just deal with it. He is on our side after all.
They walked through the forest once more as Dragonel began to teach Mikey the way of a prince. As a prince, you must command a high level of respect and authority. Such as... Dragonel then pointed towards Cody with a determined look. You, bow to my feet. Cody hesitantly did so they wouldn't get told off again. Dragonel turned to Mikey with a satisfied expression. See? Easy as that. Mikey didn't look horrified at the display. Isn't that a bit mean? Of course not. We are princes after all. It's our duty to show these people their place in life. Yeah, I don't see how it'll help me.
That really seems like you are the biggest jerk out there.
I suppose that was a bad example. What would you like to know instead? How about showing me my actual duty as a king under the stars? I see. Well, I can't help you much there. However, it doesn't mean I'll try. Based on what I know, the Starvanian king is one who drives his army strong. A man who is capable of looking in the face of darkness and saying, "You don't fear me."
So a god?
Dragonel shook his head in humor. Oh, silly peasants. That's a very general way of looking at it. You need to open your mind to the bigger picture here. You'll learn one day. Sora held back her anger even more with Mike giving him a cynical look. Hey, man, as much as I'm in the dark as her, you don't need to be so condescending. And that's why you'll never be a good king of Starvania. That's what's holding you back. You're too soft. Excuse me? Mike gave his own disgusted look. Don't take it too seriously. It's not your fault that's the way you are. It's whoever taught you at the orphanage. He was a good person. Dragonel put his hand on his shoulder with a disapproving look. That's just peasant talk. If you really want to be a king, you need to let go of that mushy side of you. If not, people are just going to take advantage of you, and strong kings don't do that. You think so? That's how I was taught, and so far it's working great for me. Sora gave a disapproving look as Mikey was being bought by the dragon. She marched up to David, who was still very much happy with the situation.
Hey, don't you think this HR guy is kind of an ass?
David didn't respond as he kept his forceful smile. I don't know what you're talking about. He's just helping Mikey understand. I don't know how any of this means he's an ass.
I've seen his type before, and they usually don't end well when it comes to making relationships with them.
Once again, silence fell on him. She then marched over to the nervous Cody.
Cody, please tell me you want to act civil with me.
If it's regarding Dragonel, then you're better off asking someone else.
I can't. Mikey is getting way too inspired, and David hasn't been acting his normal skeptical self since he showed up.
I'm sure it'll run its course. Mikey is a mature kid. You know this guy isn't really someone to take notes from. Sora still looked at Dragonel with skepticism.
If you say so.
It was getting late again, and they were still in the forest. Everything was set up, and HR was trying out Cody's food and discuss. Mushroom skewer, my specialty. Where's the meat? You expecting to grow muscles with this vegetable trash?
It's not that bad. Besides, vegetables are good for you.
Yet again, you peasants don't know proper taste. Tell them, Mikey. Mikey was too busy enjoying his dinner instead of listening. He looked to see an HR give him a serious glare. I mean, it's a little overcooked, but it's still good. Mikey, demand this peasant to make you another one. I have a name, you know. Dragonel shot him with the same glare as his words started to mumble. If it isn't too much to ask, would you mind making me another one? Sorry, Mikey. We're kind of out of mushrooms. I'll make sure to get some next time at the store. Dragonel slammed his fist on the nearby rock. Did you not hear your king? He wants another one that isn't burnt! Cody began to back away in fear. HR, it's fine. He doesn't have to do it if he doesn't want to. Stop being so soft. Show me that you can be abrasive for once. But that's insensitive. Is it? You're a king. Act like one. HR gave him one last serious look before Mikey said the other word. In annoyance, Mikey just slammed his raining food into the ground and got in a rage. I'll like another one not burnt. That is a command. Whoa, you too? Mikey kept giving him this enraged look. Could begin to scram towards the woods. But he was stopped by Sora, who gently put her food down beside her as she held Cody on. She gave a serious look at Mikey as she swallowed her bite.
We need to have a talk now.
Mikey looked over to Dragonel, who was shaking his head with a determined look. Mikey nodded his head, and she motioned to follow. Before they went further, Dave from the background looked at her strangely. What are you going to do?
What you should have done earlier.
She continued to let Mikey follow her deep into the woods. Far enough where they weren't too lost, but still away from the group. What's going on? She looked back at him disappointingly.
Mikey, I think Dragonel is having a negative influence on you.
What do you mean?
Something seemed off about him when he first showed up, and now that you're getting to know him, it's becoming more obvious.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You just told off Cody for something trivial.
I want one that wasn't burnt. Sora stopped herself from fighting back.
Look, as your friend, I'm just trying to look out for you here. I've seen people like him before. He's either a complete jackass or oblivious to his lifestyle. I think it's the latter. And he's trying to force that mindset onto you.
Mikey thought for a moment as he tried to understand, but he just shook his head while giving her a smile. I get what you're saying, but I don't think that's the case. I'm finally learning what I'm supposed to do as a king. It's the first step to fulfill this prophecy, because think about it. After I beat Darky, I'm supposed to be the king. Well, I think it's important for me to do just that, and with Dragonel's help, I can do that.
Well, what if Dragonel is the wrong person to get help from?
Nonsense. He's a prince like me. If anyone knows what life is like, it's him. Mikey then walked back to the group with Sora standing there in disbelief. She watched him walk all the way back as he approached Dragonel once more.
He won't even acknowledge Dragonel's wrong here. Please don't let it happen to him.
The next morning arrived as the group continued their quest. Hey, Cody, how much longer is it? Cody looked back at him nervously, and he thought very carefully before saying another word. He didn't look back at him with a nervous smile. Just a day's walk from here? Good, we're just edging closer by day. But why are you so nervous, though? Cody refused to say another word. Isn't it obvious? He finally realized the kind of person you are. He now knows that you are the king.
That depends on your definition of king.
If you're nervous about something, you can tell me. Would it be alright? Why wouldn't it be? Because you might yell at me again. Only if you're wrong, of course. You should never be wrong in the presence of a king. He has the right to make a mistake. Once again, you prove to be too soft. People are people, Dragonel. Mistakes are found to happen. Maybe in a gentle perspective, but to a king, if your guy isn't doing his job, then you have the right to do whatever you want to them. The message continued to repeat through his head, and finally dawned to him on what was happening. Sora realized it too, and she gave a sigh of relief. Hey, we walked for a few miles. How about a small break? I know what you mean. My claws are killing me. This is why I fly a lot. They stood up once more, and Mikey's thoughts became cloudy. Sora then approached him.
Just talk to him for everyone's sanity here.
I will, but I'm still conflicted. Sora gave him a confident look, and he then took a deep breath as he walked towards the Red Dragon. So, during this break, what shall I teach you next? Follow royalty. With another breath, Mikey put on a serious face. HR, I don't think this is working out. Heh. What? Dragon looked at him confused. I said it isn't working out. Your teachings aren't helping me be better understand my role. What are you talking about? You want to know how to become a king, correct? That is true, but not like this. You make me inflict people with fear, and not only that, being completely disrespectful. We are royalty, Mikey. They should respect us through thick and thin, and they need to earn our respect. That's not how relationships work. If something that I learned long ago by the other kids at the orphanage, respect is a two-way street. That's how relationships are. It shouldn't matter if I'm a king or not. Whoever touched that's completely out of their mind. What do they know about being a royalty? Maybe it isn't being about a king that defines you. It's by who you are as a person. The thing is, and I've been thinking about it, believe me, that maybe if I'm going to be a king of Sarvania, I want people to see me for who I am. That's what will make me a good leader then. By being soft. That's why I want people, the subjects, to see you. I don't want them to look at them as subjects or peasants. I want to see them for who they are as well. And that goes with Cody as well. He might always have known you with people, but I know deep down he can be kind and helpful. Maiden walked over to Cody with a clear mind. Hold on, what are you doing? Something you seem to have the guts to do. He looked over the fearfully shaking Cody. He put his hand out to him with a comforting look. Cody, I'm sorry for showing you the other day. Cody investigated him before he shook back, but after he seemed up his posture, shook his hand back with an eased expression. I forgive you. I know you're only trying to follow his example. What do you mean by his, peasant? Mikey then turned to him with an angered look. Knock it off, Dragonel. He has a name and it's Cody. I suggest you call him by that. No! He isn't the same level as me! Why should that matter? Don't you know that his life has the same value as yours? In what universe does his life have the same value? He is beneath me just like he is beneath you. No, he's not. Maybe it's somebody to teach you for once. How about you stop being an asshole and be more respectful? Dragonel gave him a furious expression after he stopped in his tracks. What, would you like to run that by me again? Mikey signed to relax himself, and he showed a more stern look. All I'm saying is that you need to be a little more humbled. You don't have the right to be as selfish as you are. Dragonel then covered his fist with yellow lightning, and he gave Mikey a deadly glare. Mikey didn't notice this, and he tried to calm down. Dragonel, put the lightning away. We don't want to do anything we might regret. Then you should have kept your dumb mouth shut. He then quickly threw his fist at Mikey, sending him flying back. He landed on the ground in pain, and Dragonel didn't hesitate as he blitzed towards his direction. Sora saw this and tried to stop him, as well as David, but they were too slow. Dragonel then stood on top of the slowly getting up Mikey, and he put lightning over his other fist. This is also what I mean about you being too soft. You're standing up for the irrelevant people. He then threw his fist at one more time, but Mikey was able to stop it after releasing his cosmic aura. I know who I'm standing for. They then began to clash as David and Sora went into the fight. This is horrible.
I know. It might be only formed sooner.
Not just that, but the Star Council is fighting against itself. This is a bad image. Sora then slapped David as she gave him a disgusted look.
Would you stop thinking about the Star Council for 2 seconds? Don't you know that what's happening right now has nothing to do with that?
But the law of the universe.
How about we stop this fight before we begin thinking anything along those terms?
Sora then turned to Cody, who was investigating the fight. He noticed her staring at him. Huh? Oh, right. His ability is based on what I can tell is current. It allows him to perform electrical close-range attacks through any part of his body. Fortunately, it has a close range. The problem is, Mikey's ability is 2 as far as we know. They continue to watch the fight back and forth. However, for Mikey, Dragonel was too fast for him. Mikey was able to absorb most of the blows, but Dragonel just kept laying it in. Don't you see what I mean being too soft? This is the kind of thing that makes a lot of people take advantage of you. Mikey then fired a punch straight into Dragonel's gut by surprise. You are so narrow-minded. Don't you think it's you who's too soft? Dragonel flew back real quick to regain his breath. He locked up to Mikey fiercely. You have no idea what I mean, and now you're taking out the wrong person here. He then flew back up to him with more barrages. I'm the one person here who's trying to help you prepare yourself to be a king of Starvania. And you just spat in my face. You're saying I'm being too disrespectful. What you're doing is calling the damn kettle black. Mikey then matched his punches as well, but unfortunately after a while was too slow. Dragonel stood over him once more with a studious look. I don't want to do this, but if you question me for the last time, either you learn my way or the Star Warriors are doomed. Mikey then took advantage of the situation and used a cosmic kick after catching Dragonel off guard. What if your way is the reason the Star Warriors fell in the first place? He then got up in a determined pose as Dragonel regained his balance. We don't need to fight. We can just talk about this like civil royals here. Dragonel thought for a moment, and after a second of thinking, let's go with some lighting as Mikey did the same. They then found 2 rocks to sit on and began their conversation. Why don't you trust my teachings? It's not that I don't trust you, it's just your style is feeling superior by pushing our people down. But that's what a king is. That's how it's always been. That's how your father and mine were. Well, what if they're wrong? They're not. You don't get it. They are wrong. They spend so much time on trying to push and push that they never got the chance to see them as equals. If they did, then maybe the whole darkest situation wouldn't have happened. That's not true, you know it. Look, my new friends over there got me through some sticky situations. If I didn't have their help, then I don't know what I would do. They're just as valuable as I am, if not more. Thinking about it, where would you be if there weren't people out who helped you? Dragonel went back to his thoughts, and he then gave it an uncertain look. I don't know. I had so many people over the years teach my ability, how to be a real person, the whole thing. He then widened his own eyes as he came to realization. Wait a minute. Maybe I am wrong. About time. I was getting to figure you're going to be too stubborn. Still, I should have apologized for why I acted toward you. Despite your actions, I have no right to act the way I did. I forgive you, but this whole thing you showed me, it's really got me thinking. That's good. I know you'll get it figured out someday. That's the thing. I don't feel comfortable about it whatsoever. I'm right now questioning everything I was taught to this point, and I don't know how to react towards it. Well, together we can help you understand. Dragonel then shook his head, this time with a more relaxed look. As much as I would, I'm afraid I can't do that. Why? Sure, I know a lot of things up there are a bit messy between you and the others, but we can work it out. Dragonel got up from his sitting position with the same uncertain pose. It's not just that. The more and more we speak, the more I start to wonder. It's starting to get crowded up in here. I'm going to need some time to think. Maggie didn't get a disappointed look, but he secretly knew it was for the best. Okay, but you will come back to help us, right? Of course. You and I are next generation of the Star Council. But it's clear that the both of us aren't ready yet. Agreed. So then, I'll be seeing you. Mikey brought his hand out for some confirmation. Dragonel looked back and he reciprocated. Sure, but for now, this is goodbye. He then expanded his wings as he looked at the sky. Mikey smiled and waved at him as he left, and it gave enough time for the others to come back.
Mikey, there you are. We were worried.
Yeah, but you managed to beat him. Good job. Mikey then turned to them with an uncertain look. Not quite. Just got a chance to have a talk with him. You say. Mikey paused and looked back towards where Dragonel was flying. I know what you want to hear, David, but it's not now. We both have plenty of thinking to do. David looked upset, but he knew it was for the best. Will he come back? Who knows? But for now, we should keep going. Agreed. This time with less yelling and more cooperation. They all nodded as they continued their journey. Meanwhile, back at the abandoned campsite, Terry was seen investigating it. He picked up a few pieces of an old mushroom skewers, and he clinched it with uncertainty. Yep, they were definitely here. He then heard a voice come from the puddle inside him. Oh, Terry! He walked over to see the fleeting image of Fury stare back at him. You are having second thoughts, are you? No, not at all. I want you out by any means necessary. Are you sure? Your face is telling me otherwise. Terry then dropped the skewer as he angrily looked back at his alter ego. Don't forget, I want freedom too. I don't want you to go back on your deal. Of course not. So let's not waste any more time then. Right. They should be nearby. Let's end this chase. Terry then walked away from the puddle with a determined look.